How does a man deal with loneliness, right, on his road to becoming awake, or its awakening, awareness, increasing his awareness?
What do you mean deals with loneliness? It's a journey of self-evolution, not fucking group evolution. So it's not like group coaching or group therapy when you all go into a box and like together you come out stronger and shit. Let's break this down in a way that most humans can understand. So you want to go into a business. And the first thing you do, before you even think about like, how am I going to make it or not, is think, who do I want to partner up with? And that's the number one mistake you make. Because right away, before you even face all of the issues, problems, and anything that comes with going through that journey, the first thing you're doing is looking for someone to take that suffering and do it with you so you feel better about suffering. And it really comes down to just that no one wants to suffer alone. And I think that you hire the wrong business partner because you're afraid of suffering by yourself and failing alone. And the same thing can be said about your ongoing journey of self-evolution. You look for partners or for people or distract yourself with people in hopes that the journey won't be as lonely. Reality is the business will be extremely lonely in its growth stages because no one will support you, no one will want to be your friend, no one will want you to do whatever you're trying to do at a huge pace and fund you and do this and that. Nobody will, so it doesn't matter because you're new. And the same can be said the other way when you're new, like you're looking for a new partnership. Most people that are quality, that should be partners, that could be big partners, won't want to partner up with you because they don't see the value, not in the concept or the product, but in you, because you haven't had a proven track record doing anything. So they usually will be worried to be like, what's in it for me to partner with you? What is the value you bring to the equation rather than me just partnering up with you with all my knowledge, money, and everything else? And the answer is usually nothing. And I think that's the mistake. I think man needs to understand that the majority of his capacity for self-evolution comes from self-reflection and not the tainting of someone else's ideal value system. So whenever someone tells me that, you know, they're afraid of the road to success is a very lonely road, my answer is usually it should be a very lonely road. It's a road that is comprised of failure. It is a road comprised of disappointment. It is a road comprised of hurt. And that if you don't learn to engage in these emotions, if you don't learn to travel these shadows, then you will never, ever, ever go through it. Like you just won't. Like meaning, like if you're unwilling to face your shit, you're never going to improve. So that's what it comes down to. You just have to get comfortable being extremely uncomfortable, because the biggest disease to man's evolution is comfort. And seeking or having a partner to go through pain is to seek comfort in pain instead of learning to adopt to this idea that discomfort is part of the equation for growth. So is suffering. So you have to learn to suffer, and you have to learn to suffer alone. And yes, most people at the first sign of suffering, at the first sign of being alone, will run back and justify that man was never meant to be alone. He was always meant to be connected to his peers, and we're interconnected. We're here to help others. Why do you think the majority of people who have never fucking done anything for themselves always want to help everyone else? Like they're always like, I'm helping my friends, you know, how could I have said no? Because they're scared to fucking helping themselves. Because if they help themselves, they have to act and change. But if they help others, they can just tell them what to do and make that problem go away. And then they mirror the fact that their own failure is the byproduct of helping others. And they've always been a good person helping others. So that should come back to them, because inside them, they're longing for someone to come help them. And they're like, come help me the way I'm helping these people. Because you can take me under your wing. You can take me places. But I don't want to help myself because that requires a lot of fucking change. And I don't want to do that. And so they don't do that.
I know people who go into business and they help people, and then when their help actually starts to work for the other person, they're looking with their hand out, or they're looking for some praise, or they're looking to say, hey, I helped you. What about helping me? Like what I told you worked.
Well, I think the idea of helping others is that indirectly, it's almost like playing the lottery, right? You hope someone, one of those people you help, is going to do something great and then bring you back along with them. But it doesn't work that way. Like, that's not how the game works. It's actually met with a lot of disappointment usually, because that person makes it, and then they're like, well, great. And you're like, well, what do you mean great? What about me? Well, I'm sorry, we didn't have that agreement that I was gonna put a rope for you to fucking come back. Like, that wasn't the deal. Well, in my mind it was, because I helped you when I didn't have to. Well, no, you helped me with the intent that technically if something good happened for me, it should benefit you. So you didn't really help me, you just helped yourself. And at that moment, I did the work to help myself. So while you thought you were helping me, I was doing the work to help myself. Ultimately, I made it. You never wanted to help yourself. So, and then you go, that guy's an asshole and he should be hanged for this because I was the reason he was successful. And that's not true.